3 days ago, on an ordinary Thursday morning, while I was elbow-deep in coding a backend server issue, my phone buzzed. It was my husband, Marcus, 45. The message was sharp and surgical. "Samantha, I want a divorce. Please route all further communication through my attorney, Ms. Delgado. Her contact information will follow. We'd been married for 17 years. We had coffee together that morning. Talked about an upcoming trip to Vancouver. There was no tension, no warning. Just normal." I froze. For 5 whole minutes, I stared at that screen. A swirl of disbelief, grief, anger, and finally, clarity. He had set the tone. Legal. Cold. Distant. So I followed it. I responded with a single word, "Noted." Then I moved. I logged into our shared utilities and removed him as a secondary on anything under my name. We had maintained some financial separation over the years, a lesson I learned from my sister's ugly divorce. Marcus had an authorized user card on my accounts. I revoked it. Gone. He also received a monthly discretionary transfer from me, a relic of an old agreement when his consulting work was sporadic. I logged into my bank and halted the auto transfer. Streaming services all mine. Logged out every device. Changed every password. The car he drove in my name. Still insured under my policy. I didn't cancel the insurance yet, not wanting to risk liability, but I marked it for review with my attorney. His gym membership billed through a card I controlled. Cancelled. I wasn't being vindictive. I was simply respecting the rules he himself laid out. An hour later, his lawyer's info came through. I forwarded it to Mr. Feldman, a highly recommended family attorney I'd contacted previously, just in case. By late afternoon, I had a retainer paid, documents scanned, and a list of next steps in hand. That night, I came home to a partially empty closet. He had come and gone. 3 days later, Sunday, my phone rang. Unknown number. Ms. Samantha Johnson. Yes. This is Ms. Delgado, counsel for Marcus. My client is facing sudden financial hardship due to your actions. I stayed calm. He requested divorce via text and explicitly said legal communication only. I'm complying. Any financial support discussions can occur through legal counsel. He is sleeping on a friend's couch. Has no liquid funds. This is highly irregular. Noted. Please forward any emergency support filings to Mr. Feldman. I am no longer discussing finances casually. Those days ended the moment my marriage did. There was a beat of silence, then a clipped goodbye. Inside, my heart was racing. But I felt grounded. The next week, Marcus's lawyer filed a request for emergency spousal support and exclusive access to the condo, which he had already vacated. The amount he wanted was laughable. It included personal chef services, weekend trips, and his portion of the wine club. Mr. Feldman countered with a modest temporary allowance, tied strictly to verified needs: food, shelter, utilities. Then the guilt campaign started. Marcus's sister, Rebecca, called. Angry. How could you left him with nothing? He ended our marriage over a text message. I respected the boundaries he set. If he wants to renegotiate the tone, he should be done so like an adult. Then came a sudden attempted withdrawal from an old joint savings account, one we both forgot existed. Just $300 inside. The bank flagged it and froze it after I explained the ongoing legal process. That helped us, legally. Marcus was acting outside the process he demanded. 2 weeks later, the support hearing happened. Marcus arrived in a borrowed suit, trying to look pitiful. Ms. Delgado argued emotional distress and financial devastation. Mr. Feldman calmly presented the timeline, the divorce text. The lawyer's only mandate. The account cancellations after said mandate. His current living expenses. The judge ordered temporary support. A realistic, needs-based figure. Marcus wasn't thrilled. But it got worse. That Friday, I got an HR email at work. Anonymous complaint. Accusing me of using company resources for personal legal matters and showing signs of instability. False, of course. My attorney flagged it as harassment. We began documenting everything. Then his mother called me. Cried on the phone. Claimed I had turned cold and heartless. I gently reminded her this wasn't my choice, but Marcus's. She hung up. The car was the next battle. Marcus couldn't afford to take over the lease. But he refused to return it. Mr. Feldman sent a formal letter to Ms. Delgado. Deadline passed. I informed the leasing company. Insurance was set to lapse. Repossession followed within days. More drama from his camp. I ignored the calls. The apartment I formally applied for full rights to occupy and sell. The judge granted it. I began the sale process. Then came the real revelation. During financial discovery, Marcus was forced to admit he'd been hiding a second checking account, funneled through a side business. It wasn't massive, but it disproved his claims of destitution. Ms. Delgado attempted to argue separate property. Feldman showed commingling. It worked. In the end, 6 months after the bombshell text, the divorce finalized. Settlement terms: condo equity split 60-40 in my favor due to hidden assets. No claim on my pension. Spousal support for 18 months, on the condition of employment efforts. Each of us paid our own legal fees. Marcus now lives in a rented studio. He works more now. Still bitter, from what I hear. His friends, many of them, pulled back once they realized he had distorted the narrative. Do I feel victorious? Not really. Just steady. Like I survived a hurricane. I've joined a yoga class. Hosted friends for the first time in years. Slept in peace. Not out of revenge. Not to prove anything. Just life, moving forward. He wanted cold and legal. He got it, and I got my peace.